Hey guys, it's Miko from ML Sound Lab and this is ML Drums Paratera. Okay, ML Drums Paratera is our first ever mini expansion pack for ML Drums. It's very much based on this thing right here. I suppose the easiest way for me to show you what it's all about is by just saying hit that snare. So there you go, this is ML Drums free with the Paratera expansion pack that only costs $9.99, so for under 10 bucks, this is what you can get out of ML Drums. And if it isn't obvious already, this is based on basically this snare, but on top of that, as a bonus, we also did a kick in the same space, so you have a good kick and snare combination to use. What is this snare? Well, this is actually based on the Vinnie Paul Pearl signature snare, and the special thing about this snare is that it's 8 inches deep. So most snare drums don't really go much deeper than something like 6.5 inches, which would be probably the deepest snare that we have in ML Drums right now. Something like a Black Beauty, 6.5 inches. This is 8 inches, so it's super deep. And these snares are actually quite difficult for you to find and get. Now, while this is the signature Paratera snare, for me personally, this is more importantly that snare drum that was used for the Paramore Riot album, and that is quite evident from the sound sample that I showed you before. It sounds just like it. Now, if you're not familiar with the impact of Paramore Riot and that snare sound, it had a huge influence on the entire industry. However, that snare sound very likely was a one-shot. And what a one-shot is, it's just one drum hit that is being layered on top of every single snare hit. And that is an epic and awesome sounding snare hit, nothing wrong with that, but I always wished for having that snare in its entirety with all the different layers of dynamics, round robins, all that good stuff done in a good room. Now, not only do we have this snare sound, we actually have it in 5 different tunings. So what you just heard was the tuning 262, which is actually the pitch C note. So I believe this song is in F, so the 5 for the F chord will be C, and for that reason it sounds so good for this song. But what if you're not playing in that tuning? Now, we have different tunings. We have 230, which is a full tone lower than that, so this will be like A sharp, C, D, E, F sharp. So you have a lot of versatility in here. Let's just listen to the drums on their own and me going through different snares. And just to be clear, these snare pitches were sampled separately, so the actual drum was tuned separately for all these different tunings, so they work with different songs and their tunings, and you can now just quickly switch the tuning of that snare, that amazing snare, inside ML Drums. Now we also have a kick, and the reason why we have a kick here is that we really wanted to have a kick and snare done in the same room, because that is where things usually sound weird, if the kick and snare were done in a separate room. And the room we use is actually my living room. Which may sound weird to you, but I actually have an amazing sounding living room. It's 6 meters tall, so that's like 20 feet. And when we moved in, I actually decided to not even have any acoustic treatment for that space, because when I played acoustic guitar in there, it just sounds so amazing. So let's have a listen to just the room. I'll just solo the room track. Just have a listen to the snare in the room. This is just the room track. And now for the kick. And if we play the full kit in this room now, that sounds very, very good. Now, we've been really demonstrating this 3 plus Paratera kind of a kit. On top of that, we also have Essentials plus Paratera. This is another preset with a different tuning and everything, and this has the full kit of Essentials. So if you already have Drums Essentials, this is what you want to be using. Obviously this has the different symbols from Essentials. Then we have Meld, which, you know, has the different symbols from Drums Meld put in here. So if you want to make some kind of genty music, this is probably the preset for you. And then we have Dwell and Paratera. And all these kits are full-on mixed presets that are ready to go. You don't even have to mix. So if you have any of these expansions, you will be ready and set to go. Now, more about this snare itself. Now that we have it sampled in this amazing way, where we have all the different dynamics and velocities and multi-layer samples and all this amazing stuff, we can do so much with this, with the velocity. So I have this one portion of this song demonstration that I had here, where you have a very long snare roll. That is something that I want you to focus on. So let's just have a listen to that. Something like that would be impossible to do with a one-shot. And on the actual recordings, I believe they completely mute the sample on those kinds of snare rolls. So you only hear that snare sample on the hard hits, and on the snare rolls you're not hearing it at all. So actually being able to use these samples dynamically is a big game changer. So you can do something like this. And not only that, we can do it in different tunings. So let's go lower. Or let's go super high if you want to play something like nu metal or something like that. You want to go for something like this. And it sounds amazing. It still has that oomph of it being an 8-inch snare cranked up all the way up to get the maximum amount of ring out of it. This is like a mini expansion, but at the same time it's one of the biggest sounds you can get in drums. So it's a mini, huge, big kind of drum expansion from Sound Lab. Please let us know in the comments if you like these kinds of mini expansions, because this is a very specific thing, and it's a very important specific thing for me personally. Would you like to see more things of this sort, where you can sort of pick and choose tiny portions of the kit, or do you like the full-on full kit expansions? Let me know in the comments down below, and go get Drums Paratera. This is what it's been all about. Thank you for watching the video. I've been Mikko from Sound Lab, and see you on the next one. Bye bye.